Hello, my name is Jesus Mancha. Today I will be talking about the sport of boxing and what it is to compete in a professional slash amateur fighting of the sport. I'm not here to tell people not to do the sport because I do believe that it is a very beneficial sport for everybody who does martial arts and who is looking to have a very good, happy, and healthy training slash have very good self-defense skills. This is more so for the people that want to compete, that want to test themselves at a amateur slash professional level. This is what I'm here to do. I want to explain to people that boxing is not a good sport for you to follow in terms to test yourself because over time I believe that professional slash amateur fighters will at some point of time get some sort of traumatic brain injury which could be caused by TBI. Now 98% of boxers do get TBI due to the fact that they do get repeated blows to the head and to the body, mostly the head because those are the main targets, right? We don't really punch the legs or any of that stuff. From 1960 to 2011, there has been 488 deaths related to the sport, which it is very astonishing compared to other sports in terms of martial arts sports because compared to jiu-jitsu or some other grappling sports, something like also like kickboxing or something like that, there hasn't been that many death related sports. And now, believe it or not, the UFC is probably the safest bet you can probably do, more so safer than boxing, typically because in mixed martial arts you can actually you have more other options. Instead of getting blows to the head and the body, you can have some sort of locks, some sort of arm lock, some sort of arm bar, grappling stuff. The matches are also a little shorter. Now with boxing, especially professional boxers, they do typically run around 12 rounds, something like that, which is super high intensity stuff. If you're getting hit in the head for 12 rounds repeatedly, it's somewhat pretty crazy. 66% of people do actually also have fractures in their skulls, which is attributed to the repeated blows to the head. This is a very big number compared to how many people do train boxing. Boxing is probably one of the most famous physical combat sport out there, on top of probably wrestling, high school wrestling. People do start high school at a young age, and it is very dangerous. Concussions are also a big part of boxing and competitive sport. According to the neurological surgeon, 90% of boxers will suffer a concussion at sort of some point of their time in their career, which is a terrific amount, like I said, to compare it to how many people do compete in the sport. And when you get a concussion, your brain actually does punch the walls of your brain, which causes the brain to just go around the whole head and for you to somewhat lose conscious, if you will. Now this may sound pretty bad or good, but because of the concussion that you do suffer, you're also susceptible to have a seizure as well. A seizure during the concussion. If you do get a concussion, it's important that you do rest, fully recover before returning back to your normal activities. It is recommended by doctors, by anybody who does know about the sport, who knows about concussions, that if you do get an injury, a concussion, it is best for you to just stay there. And for most people, I don't know if that's good or bad. I personally believe that in my years of training the sport, I've only competed once or twice, but it sort of was to tip my toes in there, and that was about it. most people that do get into the sport, they get some sort of to a habit, so which causes them to just keep on going, push themselves to just keep on going to the gym. And I don't think that's the most healthiest possible way that you can probably approach this thing, especially because people do need the sport. People do need to train their self-defense skills, their self discipline. So many things could come up from the sport that you are missing out if you just lose it because of some sort of fight that you had trying to compete with other people. Professional sport was probably a more somewhat easygoing, I would say, because you actually do gain money from there. Now, is this really worth the medical bill? I don't know. That's probably up to a person. But chronic traumatic encephalopathy is a serious complication that is repeated to concussions, and it is due to the fact that as you accumulate concussions, you actually could mess with your brain, which would cause Alzheimer's. You can lose the ability to talk, the ability to move around your body, and this is probably not the way to go for most people who do have a job, who do have kids, who do have a wife, family, whatever it is you have a family in general. This is probably not the best way to go down on, because while probably the fame that you could have acquired from the sport, it's really not as good as the conclusion at the end of the story. You do lose a lot of things, and you probably gain close to nothing. CTE is probably the most known illness that comes from the sport. CTE is also known as punch drunk syndrome, boxer's brain, or dementia. Other experts believe that the number is probably much higher due to the nature of boxing, including successive blows to the head. Evidence of CTE was found in 99% of NFL players. Now, I'm not comparing NFL to the boxing, but it is a big amount. It is a very dangerous sport if you want to compete in this sport. And I believe that it is a very good sport, a very good way for you to stay fit, for you to have very good self-defense skills, but it is not worth normal people trying to go out and compete when they have a job, a family out there that is depending on them. And in conclusion, I believe that while boxing is an amazing sport, an amazing way to have very good self-discipline, get your brain out of a lot of things, because I do believe that physical activities is a good way of meditation in a way. It is a very dangerous sport, and the negatives outweigh the positives. So please sign up to the gym, any gym that you may have, and yeah, thank you.